What's up, guys? I'm Uncle Freedom, coming to you on another glorious and well-deserved day off. How is it going? Well, today, if you hear banging around behind me, that is in fact my dogs that have now decided this is the point in which they are going to hang out with me. But today we're going to talk about something that I don't hear mentioned a whole lot, but I think it's a really important subject that we need to talk about, and that is the importance of training firearms. Not going to the range and doing the stuff that we normally do, which is training. For my internet safety people out there, she's clear. Not going out to the range and training with that specific firearm, but having a training firearm itself. It's kind of insane that I've never brought this up, but what is a training firearm? Well, it's an economical platform that runs exactly like our duty or primary platforms, and it's mainly going to be chambered in .22 long rifle. It really, one of the coolest parts about this is it presents us with kind of this stopgap between the dry firing that we should be doing at home, but most aren't doing it as much as they need to, and the extensive live fire that we wish we could be doing. Whether that be because of ammo costs, because I mean, here's the thing, I'm a guy that I can go to the range and I can burn 2,000 rounds in a day while training. It is a lot cheaper for me to burn 2,000 rounds or 1,000 rounds of .22 long rifle to get those reps, and then burn 1,000 rounds of normal duty ammo. So what do we gain by doing this? Well, we get excellent manipulation skills. We can, so this is one we're going to show today. Again, we're clear. We get excellent manipulation controls. I can run this just like I would a normal gun. I can present out, I can get my grip, I can do all of those things. I can practice trigger manipulations, my trigger control, my actual sighting for iron sights on this guy. There's a red dot version of this available. I can confirm all of those skills that I do in dry fire, right? We can all build that grip, build our grip, present out, acquire our sights, prep that trigger, break that shot, and we can all do that at home in dry fire. But we still have to do an element of live fire, because recoil control, actual accuracy, stuff like that is stuff that we're doing at the range to confirm the stuff that we're learning and working on in dry fire. It is much cheaper for me to go out to the range and confirm some of that stuff that I've been working on in dry fire, whether that's my manipulation skills, my acquisition of the sights, whatever it may be. It is a whole lot cheaper for me to go out and get that level, those things confirmed with a .22 long rifle, and then break out a couple of hundred rounds of my actual ammo that I would run with this guy and burn it down with this and get some good reps on something with the same amount of recoil. That way, we're getting a lot more out of our live fire time and monies in a world where stuff like this guy is chambered sometimes in dollar bills. You know, we start talking about shooting bolt guns, we're talking about shooting a rifle platform to confirm those dry fire skills that is literally chambered in multiple dollar bills every time I pull the trigger. Something like this, a magazine, you know, we're all aware that a magazine, even if we're hand loading, is about $3 or $4 worth of ammo. We can burn up a mag in no time, especially if we're doing a lot of work out on the range. Even shooting precision rifle. I toyed with bringing all these down here to show them off to you guys, but I chose not to because it would get really cluttered really fast. But shooting a precision rifle. So one of my favorite precision rifles is the Begara B14. I adore that rifle. That rifle shoots lights out. It is very comfortable. It is very accurate. It's extremely consistent. It shoots the ammo that I shoot the way I want to shoot. I can suppress it. I can have a break on it. I can do all of these things. But there's also a version of this known as the B14R, which is the Begara B14 rimfire. I now have the same bolt throw. I have the same manipulations. I have the same size magazine. I have the same magazine manipulations. And I can do all of that at, even if I buy super high-end .22, I can get 50 rounds for $20. And that's like buying the highest of the high-end .22. You can do the same thing. If like a Ruger Precision rifle is your thing, there is a Ruger Precision rimfire. Tika, CZ, Savage, they all have 22 long rifle trainer variants available of their modern precision rifle. So we can get out there and get all of that stuff, building our positions, laying down on, laying down into the rifle, finding that natural point of aim, working out those kinks and how we're positioning ourselves, or even on shooting off of weird objects and barriers. We can take all of that and then set a target up at 50 yards, because the part we're working on is building that position, building that comfort behind the firearm, running that bolt, changing that magazine out, acquiring our sights, because I can build out this thing exactly the same. I have the same optic if I want the same optic. I can literally do it identical. And then I can lay there, same trigger, same bolt, same safety, same everything, and run that off of different barricades. And I'm doing that at like $3 for 50 rounds. So that's a big one, right? Like at first I discounted, and there is a whole subset of shooting that is 22 NRL, which is the National Rifle League, but that is in 22 long rifle. I am not that guy. I don't do that, but I do use my B14R as well as my Ruger Precision Rimfire a lot to simulate the rifle system that I'm running, and getting more and more reps with reading things through the optics, reading wind through the optic, ranging stuff. And then I can actually practice precision, because 100 yards or 200 yards with a 22 long rifle is harder to shoot sometimes than 1,000 yards with a 308. But like I said, now we can run similar everything. We're running the same optics, the same bolt throw. We got the same magazine in cases like the B14. We have the same releases like we would in our other firearm system. And we're doing it all for pennies instead of dollar bills. And to me, that is like really cool. And it's one of the best investments I've made in myself as a shooter. So we're getting reps, like I said, pennies per round. And at the absolute highest end of ammo, we're talking 50 cents per round sometimes, or 20 to 50 cents per round for really expensive stuff like Lapua and Ely ammo and stuff like that. We're buying really high-end match grade like NRL 22 ammo. We are getting like so many more reps for the same amount of money. It's insane. And like I mentioned a minute ago, you will learn a whole lot about reading and calling when shooting a 22 long rifle to 200 yards or even 100 yards. I typically bring this up for people that want to learn the skill set of precision rifle and calling when and shooting accurately and all of that stuff that goes into handling a bolt gun in a consistent fashion, because consistency is everything. That's how we're accurate. A lot of people want to learn how to do that, but they can't afford to go out and burn up 100 rounds of 175 grain gold medal match at $35 or $40 for a box of 20. People can't do that. But if I take them and I say, hey man, for the minimal investment up front of about $1,200 or $1,300, maybe $1,500, you can buy this identical rifle chambered in 22 long rifle, and then go out and shoot at 100 yards and get all of the same benefits minus recoil and the actual trajectory of your real round. But all of that fundamental stuff that we're trying to build when we're on the range training, we can do all of that with a 22 and then shoot less of our expensive ammo and get more reps. So if we take that and we bump that over to something like everybody's favorite, like this is one of my Plinker ARs. This guy lives in my basement. Something like that, or even your nicest AR you've got. I can take a CMMG bolt kit, which I love. I've got one. I can do that. I could buy a Smith & Wesson M&P 22. I could buy the HK MP 522. I can do that. And now I'm running the exact same rifle with the exact same optic with all of my stuff, my IR laser, my Viz laser, my flashlight, the same grip, everything, my trigger, everything on this system. And I am getting like CQB reps at like 25 yards or whatever. We say 50 yards and in, 25 yards and in, and we're hitting paper with that 100% shot accountability. Or we're entering and clearing rooms and practicing that kind of CQB stuff, right down to VCQB where we're practicing around doing around cars, running ready up drills, all of that fundamental stuff that just burns up a ton of money in ammo. Because again, now we're shooting something that's chambered at about 50 cents a round. Now I can go back and I can run some really cheap, 3 to 5 cents per round stuff and just burn it down and get a ton of freaking reps. Same thing, mag, mag change is exactly the same. It all feels the same. So I am getting an extension. I am taking dry fire to like the craziest 9th degree over here, and then I'm gonna go out and then run like some real ammo at the end of my day. But quite possibly, the best place this lands, 100%, like, period, is the handgun. Because the handguns are the hardest thing to shoot accurately and consistency. Still clear. Me being able to get a proper master grip on this, come up, have my index points, present out, get the exact same sight picture every single time, get that prep on the trigger and break that shot every single time the same way at speed, getting faster with an actual end result available to me out there, this becomes awesome. Now here's the problem with 22 pistols. A lot of them are very unreliable. There are a lot of great options that exist for the 22 trainer pistol. By far the most reliable one that I have found that consistently functions with a ton of different ammo is the Taurus TX22. Say what you, ow, bit my tongue. Say what you want about Taurus, but they knocked it out of the park with the TX22 series. This is the full-size variant. There is now a compact that has a 13-round magazine, and the slide is milled for an optic. I'm going to get one of those. Taurus, if you're listening, hook somebody up. They also have their competition model. That doesn't really trip my trigger, but the compact version of it, I will tell you, this grip is fantastic. It's very HKVP9-esque. The trigger is surprisingly, like, just very good. It's very crisp. And I mean, with the new compact, we actually get like a full-size barrel instead of this little pencil barrel thing we got here. We actually have a thicker barrel that's actually threaded on the end instead of having to use a thread adapter. And unlike the rest of the ones that exist out there, things like the SIG one or some of these other brands, this thing isn't really ammo picky. And I know some people are going to be like, well, how accurate can you possibly be with that? Well, let's take a look at some of this. So typically when I break in a new gun, I'll do something like these. These are 3x5 and 4x6 note cards with a 2-inch aiming dot on them. So the only ammo I found that this one would not reliably cycle for me was this guy. So this is the CCI Copper 22. It is a 21 grain projectile moving at Mach Jesus. It's really fast, but it doesn't have the mass to cycle the slide. So that one was kind of out. But if we look at things like CCI Mini Mag at 5 yards, and keep in mind, these are 5 yards of rapid fire. So 5 yards CCI Mini Mag, that's my 5-round group, right? And like I said, this is not like me trying to shoot bullseye performance. This is me literally drawing it out and just boom, 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 right? I'm getting the rounds on the target. I was really surprised that this guy cycled something that sometimes won't cycle 1022s, and that is the Aguila 60 grain Sniper Subsonic. Cycled it without a problem. Even the super dirt cheap stuff, the Remington Thunderbolt, like that is one of the cheapest rounds you're gonna find in 22. There's a 7-yard group shot rapid with this guy. Can't really be mad about that. How about some $3.99 Federal Champion, right? We all know this stuff. How about that for a 5-shot rapid fire? And then I went back to 15 yards because it's a handgun, right? So with a handgun, shooting 10-shot groups, this is that same Thunderbolt. This is a 4x6 card. This is a higher level of accuracy than most people are even striving for, right? This is one of those things I talk about, 100% shot accountability. When we shoot things, that's why we shoot paper. This is 100% shot accountability. This is 15 rounds fired with the iron sights on a Taurus TX22 offhand with the cheapest bulk ammo you can really find, and that is a 15-shot group into a 4x6 card. You want to see one that's really cool. The standard has always been for a very long time, if you want really good, inexpensive ammo, we can run something like this. This is the CCI Mini Mag. $10, 100 rounds. There's your 15-yard CCI Mini Mag group. It's really hard to argue with that. This thing's reliable. And I have had so much fun. That's the other thing, man. Like, I love shooting guns. But going out and just burning it down with a little 22 long rifle semi-auto that locks the slide back. I mean, the slide on this is made out of aluminum. It's cut weight everywhere it can. The inside's kind of milled and hollowed out in places. Great trigger on it. You can dry fire. It's not a big deal. Mag release works well on it. The grip is incredibly comfortable. The sights are plastic, but they are adjustable for windage and elevation, which is pretty freaking cool if you ask me. I really want to get my hands on the TX22 Comp or the TX22 Compact because I feel like that would be an exceptionally good trainer with a red dot on the top of it, and then possibly putting a light on it and using it as a facsimile for training with like something I would with a carry gun. The Glock 22, I had one of those for a minute. I did not like how the magazines work, and I had some reliability issues with it, so I sold it off. But I have never really seen those issues with the TX22, aside from that one specific ammo, the Copper 22, which is the most expensive 22 ammo that you can really buy from CCI. But I adored this, man. I had a great time. And when we talk about magazines, like this is what we're looking at for a magazine. So this is a moderately double stacked 22 long rifle magazine made by Taurus. This is a full polymer magazine, and yes, I have the pull down tabs here on the bottom to help with the facilitation of loading. These are 16 round magazines. So with a 16 round magazine and this little guy right here, I can literally lock this guy back, send that home, and I can sit there all day long and just run the crap out of this gun, getting hundreds of reps. Hundreds of reps. We're not talking about dozens of reps. I can run hundreds of reps of the same drills because the stuff that I need to work on, entry and exit into positions, attack and control targets, when can I go fast, when do I need to slow down, picking up my sights, in the most efficient way possible, how soon can I break that shot, am I seeing things as good as I want to? I have less report, less recoil, easier to track, so I can actually keep track of all that stuff even with iron sights better than I can with a lot of my 9mm guns and stuff like that. And you can run it fast. It's clearly accurate. I mean, again, 15 yards, right? Here's the thing. For people that are like, 15 yards, here's the thing. If you can shoot a group like this offhand, rapid fire at 15 yards with 9mm, good for you. I can too. This is a 22, man. I can perform this drill 10 different times and it only cost me $10. Like, that's awesome. Like, I don't know, man. I fell in love with the training side of the house when I started messing with like the 22 trainers for precision rifles. Fell in love with it there. It got even more in depth when I started messing around with some of the AR bolt stuff because it gave me the capability to run my exact rifle my way and costing me a nickel a round, which was awesome. And then you get something like this guy, a semi-auto pistol that fits in a lot of holsters. It's got the same size grip that I'm used to dealing with other things. Now we have a version I can put an optic on, and I can put a full size, I can put a TLR7 on here, I can put a TLR1HL on here. I could do those things, and now I'm giving myself the capability to go out and run the crap out of this and actually learn some stuff about me as a shooter. It's also excellent. If you've got somebody you're trying to get into firearms, this is a phenomenal tool to help them get comfortable with a gun going off in their hands. Something as simple as this, and this is one of the least expensive 22 semi-autos on the planet. I think I picked this one up recently from Palmetto State Armory, again, an affiliate of the channel. Picked it up from them. I want to say I paid like $228 or something like that for this one here, and it came with the rebate. So I ended up with 5 magazines for this thing right out of the freaking gate. 5 mags. Think about that for just a second. 5 mags, 16 rounds. I have 80 rounds loaded up at a time, and I can just sit there and just run the crap out of this thing. Another great part about this too, I've noticed this with this trigger. So yes, you can dry fire it, but that trigger reset, that's the wall. You can still feel the wall, and there's a breakover every time. Thing is awesome. So guys, hopefully you found this informative. Maybe it's something you've never thought about. It's definitely a good place to look at investing some money, especially if you are determined to make this what you do best. So guys, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and until next time, I'll see you later.